You will be surprised to know that endocrine cells are also present in different parts of the gastrointestinal tract. They secrete four major peptide hormones. They are gastrin, secretin, cholecystokinin and gastric inhibitory peptide. First I will discuss about gastrin. Gastrin is secreted from G cells present mainly in the pyloric antrum of the stomach and a very small amount from the G cells present in duodenum. About 90 to 95% of gastrin are secreted from the G cells of pyloric antrum of the stomach. G cells we know are endocrine cells, that is they are ductless cells and they release gastrin directly into the bloodstream. Now what are the functions of gastrin? Gastrin stimulates the secretion of hydrochloric acid. Gastrin also stimulates the secretion of pepsinogen from gastric chip cells. Gastrin increases gastric motility and gastric promotes gastric mucosal growth. Now I will discuss about secretin. Secretin is secreted from H cells located mainly in the mucosa of the proximal duodenum and a small amount from the H cells located in the upper jejunum. H cells are also endocrine cells. Therefore they are ductless and release secretin directly into the bloodstream. Secretin travels through the blood to act on the exocrine pancreatic ductal cells and stimulate the secretion of bicarbonate ion rich juice, which neutralizes the acidic chyme entering the duodenum, and this is the most important function of secretin. Secretin also acts on cholangiocytes, that is bile duct epithelial cells, and increases bicarbonate content of bile to neutralize acid. Secretin also reduces the secretion of hydrochloric acid from the stomach. Thus, secretin is often called the nature's antacid. Third, I will discuss about cholecystokinin. Cholecystokinin is secreted from the eye cells located in duodenum and proximal jejunum. Eye cells are also endocrine cells. They are ductless and release cholecystokinin directly into the bloodstream. Now, what are the functions of cholecystokinin? Cholecystokinin acts on pancreatic acinar cells and stimulates the secretion of pancreatic enzymes. Cholecystokinin also acts on gallbladder and causes strong contraction of gallbladder so that the stored bile gets released into the duodenum. Cholecystokinin also relaxes the sphincter of OD, thus allows bile and pancreatic juice to enter the duodenum. Finally, I will discuss about gastric inhibitory peptide, which is secreted from the K cells present in duodenum and proximal jejunum. K cells are also endocrine cells and release gastric inhibitory peptide directly into the bloodstream. Now, what are the functions of this gastric inhibitory peptide? The major function of gastric inhibitory peptide is to stimulate the insulin secretion by acting on beta cells of the endocrine pancreas. The other functions are gastric inhibitory peptide inhibits gastric acid secretion, but we need to understand one thing, that its role in stimulating insulin secretion is more prominent than its inhibition of gastric secretion. Again I am saying, we need to remember that the role of gastric inhibitory peptide in stimulating insulin secretion is more prominent than its inhibition of gastric secretion. Now, gastric inhibitory peptide also slows down gastric emptying, but it is its minor effect. The major effect and the most prominent effect of gastric inhibitory peptide is gastric inhibitory peptide stimulates the insulin secretion by acting on beta cells of endocrine pancreas. So we have already understood that endocrine cells are also present in different parts of the gastrointestinal tract, and these endocrine cells of the gastrointestinal tract secretes hormones like gastrin, secretin, cholecystokinin and gastric inhibitory peptide.